There's a popular quotation commonly attributed, though it seems from just like a simple online search that it's been misattributed to Albert Einstein. And it goes something like this: insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Perhaps you've heard it, seems to become cliche, but I think there's something profound going on in it. And sometimes you and I, when we look at our lives, we say, I need to make a change. If my life is going to change, I can't keep doing the same things and expecting different results. Sometimes when you and I look at our lives, it's like the first half of our life can seem like it's going not very well at all. And you and I can wonder, like, is it all over? This can happen in a game too, when sometimes the first half is about as bad as it gets. Like last Saturday, do you know what I mean? A blocked punt return for a touchdown. A 40-yard rush followed by a fumble on the next carry. A failed fourth down on our own 31, and then a fake punt that was unsuccessful. And 20 points to the other team for our miscues. And if that wasn't enough, why not add a pick six interception and just another field goal for good measure? And we find ourselves down 33-0 at halftime. And this is totally gratuitous, but I don't even know how many times I've watched these clips on YouTube over and over again, because I think the commentary, especially as a Minnesotan, is so good. At one point in the third quarter, the announcer was trying to say something nice about Kirk Cousins, and then true to Kirk Cousins, he got sacked. And he just said, Kirk Cousins is going to tell his kids about getting knocked down time and time again. Like, it's so true. And after a 3-and-out possession, the announcer said, and that is not the start that the Vikings were praying for in the second half. So good. And it wasn't until 8 minutes, 22 seconds left in the third quarter when we scored our first points. And all of this can leave you and I, especially as tried and true Minnesotans, with this feeling that we can start to think it's all over. It's hopeless. Like, why not just give up? Why not just walk away and just be done with it? And that is actually what I did. That's exactly what I did. I was putting up our Christmas tree at the rectory, and I had forgotten that the game was on. And when I turned the game on, we were down 33-0. And I was just like, man. So we're trying to block it from our memories, but we know what happened versus the Cowboys. So we're like, whoa, okay, what is going to happen with this game? So I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to go pray and take a nap. So I went and prayed, and actually Father Peter woke me up from my nap because he texted me right after confessions. I'm pretty sure he was done with confessions, but like right after confessions, he texted me and he's like, are you watching the Vikings game? It's crazy. So I got up and I checked the score, 36-36. It was unbelievable. So I went up and watched the rest of overtime, and you know the rest after that. And you and I'm telling you this because I think it's so instructive for you and me in our lives. Like, you and I, sometimes when our life is not going well, we can be like, okay, it's over. This is the way my life is always going to be. And why not just give up? But there's actually another way that you can approach the same hard reality. And it was actually the way that our Vikings coach approached it. I recommend, if you've got some time, if you haven't already watched it, his press conference immediately following the game. Kevin O'Connell said this: "After playing our worst half of football all season long, trying to do everything really in our power to lose the football game, we came back in at halftime," and listen close, this is so incredible. "We came back in at halftime, and our team had a decision to make. Our coaches had a decision to make." Okay, it's 33-0, now what? So they decided we had to go and try to play good football regardless of the score. We just had to try to play good football and just see if we could apply some pressure to our opponent before all was said and done. That is amazing. Just like, let's enter into the present moment. Let's set aside that it's really hard right now. And let's just go play one play at a time, good football. At some point, right before they were going to walk back out on the field, he said, "I walked out to address the team before we went out back there, and I just overheard Patrick Peterson walk over to the offense and say, 'We're going to get stops. You just need 5 touchdowns. That's nothing. You just need 5 touchdowns and a half. That's nothing.'" And one of the journalists asked our coach this: "What does it take to get a roster full of guys in the headspace for when you say, 'Hey, we only need 5 touchdowns,' they believe it? And they don't kind of say, 'Yeah, whatever.'" Maybe you even felt that as a fan, or maybe you've played sports sometime, or you're in your job, or whatever is going through your life, and you're like, "Yeah, that's just false optimism." And this is how our coach responded to that. He said, "First and foremost, you've got to believe it yourself. If you're not authentic and real, those 53 guys in there will notice. Listen to this. But I've built that up with these guys over a long period of time, so they know both at halftime and after the game. They know I mean every word I say to them, no matter what, in any moment, good or bad. I'm going to be consistently me." He has patiently coached our team to believe that when he says something, he means it. So when he says, "Guys, we only need 5 touchdowns," something that is intangible happened in our players at halftime and said, "Yes, you're right." And we actually came to discover you don't even need all 2 quarters. Half of the third quarter. I'm glad I took a nap and got to watch YouTube, okay? Except I don't, because I missed out on the most incredible game. You see, the human race, this is why I'm bringing this up. The human race was not going well at all in the first half. It was like the human race was down 33-0. And what was God's approach when he saw those cold, hard facts? He didn't just say, "Let's go out there and play regardless of the score." He actually said, "I believe we can win. I actually plan on winning as God. In fact, we're going to win if you join my team. I don't just want you to go out and try to live your life as best you can and whatever happens, happens. I actually want you to win. And I actually plan on winning. And actually, if you join my team, you're going to win. We're going to win together." You see, what Christmas celebrates is that God has not given up on you and me. God has not walked away from you and me. He isn't just done with us. But he actually says, not only have I not given up on you, I'm actually going to give over to you the greatest gift. Not only do I not give up on you, I'm going to give over to you my very son. I'm going to give you the best I have. Not only am I not going to walk away, I'm going to enter into your reality even more profoundly. And I'm not going to be done with you. Rather, I can make all things new. I can make you new. What Christmas celebrates is that God can do something new for you, something new in you. The first half of your life does not have to be like the second half. You could be doing everything, I'm going to say this so gently. You could be doing everything in your power to lose in your life right now. And you can make a decision today that the second half of your life will be different from the first. You can make a decision today that the second half can be better, more winning than the first. But unlike football, however, we don't know when the halfway point is for our life. You and I could be in the first quarter of our life, or we could be in the fourth quarter of our life. And maybe you actually feel that quite painfully now in Christmas time. Maybe because of a chronic illness in yourself or in one that you love. Or we can be anywhere in between. And I just want to ask you, are you going to put off your conversion? You see, you and I, we can turn this around. Is your life going the way that you want? The direction that you want? Do you want 2023 to be the same as 2022? You see, God comes and knocks at the door of your heart, and he says, "Are you okay? Can I come in?" He comes and knocks at the door of your heart, and he says, as your life draws to its end, will you be happy to look back on the life you are leading now? Like at the end of your life, when you look back, are you going to be like really happy the way you're living now? Or is not life meant to be so much more than this? Do you want to come out on an adventure with me? You see, Christmas not only celebrates that God can make you new, Christmas also celebrates that you can start small. God's Son became a man, but before he became a man, he was a little baby, a little child. You and I change one play at a time, one series at a time, one drive at a time. You and I change one day at a time and one choice at a time, typically through small, practical steps. So in closing, I just invite you, you're going to be handed this bulletin as you leave. And there's a beautiful message from Father Peter, as well as like 8 pages of very practical ways that you, your kids, your marriage, your family life can grow closer to God in 2023. What could your life be like next Christmas if you went into the locker room at halftime and you said, we're going to make a decision. I'm going to make a decision. Because it's insanity to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results in our relationship with God. But Christmas says, I believe in you. I plan on winning. And I can make you new in 2023. your second half can be so much different than your first half. You actually can have the comeback of your life.